Once again, back at Lincoln Speedway, we're talking tonight with Scott Fisher. Scott, first of all, good to have you here at Lincoln. Thanks for taking some time out of your busy schedule.
Oh, anytime. Anytime for you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I tried to tell Emily that. She said, "You think Scott will talk to us?" I said, "He'll talk to us anytime." I knew you would. But tonight, 410 only. 358. We're on the schedule tonight. 358 car. However, you guys had some major mechanical problems last night. So tonight we're concentrating on the 410. Speaking of the 410, things have been looking up over the last several weeks.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot better. I've said it a couple times. We've gotten to talk to them here lately. The competitors that we race against, normally in a sport, you don't want to help anybody. And there's guys that don't want to help anybody, but Timmy Gladfelder and them guys parked next to us, and they got us going in the right direction. We haven't been going good for a long time now, and it wasn't a little bit of this, it wasn't a little bit of that. They tried this, and so far it's worked out great.
You mentioned it's been quite a while since you guys had good runs, and obviously that has been the case, but Ronnie Thomas, your car owner, he sticks behind you guys and behind you, and he's just here to enjoy the sport, and he's still having a great time.
Yeah, he is. Whenever we're not around, when the COVID deal all went, we didn't know what was going on, so we stayed away from the shop because Ronnie is getting older and stuff. And they asked people, well, I want to get sick with Ronnie and Shirley for everything they've always done for me. So we stayed away, and when we first came back to the shop, me and my brother, he said, it's like my kids went to college. He said, I don't know what to do without my kids here. So we're not related at all, but Ronnie has meant so much to me that we are a family now. I mean, it might not be real family, but he's as family as it gets.
It's a special kind of friendship when you're in this sport, for sure. And to have one as strong, tight-knit, and strong, and for the duration that you guys have been together, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I'm very lucky. We haven't done anything for a couple of years, but we did win a 358 show last year. But if it was me as a car owner, I'd probably be looking to put somebody else in the car. And I tell him all the time, I understand. It is a bit. They spend a lot of money on these race cars, and for me to go out there the last couple of years and not be anywhere near where we need to be, for him to stick with me and to keep us going, it just shows that we are a tight group, and it goes deeper than results on the track, which is crazy for some people. I tell them all the time, if you put somebody else in the car, I understand. I totally 100% do it. It's not that I want that, but if you ain't running good, you can make a change. And so far, he hasn't done that. I hope he don't, but the option's there. He hasn't taken it, so I'm going to keep enjoying it as long as he lets me.
Absolutely. Now, your racing career started many, many years ago, but it was not in a sprint car.
No, it wasn't. The very first race was an enduro in Williamsburg, and I wrecked so many people. My sister was my scorer. She got yelled and hollered at. She took one for the team that day, but then we went to that scramble car stuff at Trailways. We had a blast there, but just kept moving up. And once I got to the street stock, I bought my first street stock myself, and we ran it for a little while, and then Ronnie took over from there. He put me another street stock together. We ran it for a couple of years, and it was Thunder cars. Flipped the Thunder car the first lap over here at Lincoln. On the first lap of hot laps, I flipped it. Then I thought I was going to get fired, but I didn't get fired then. So we put it back together, ran Thunder cars for a couple of years, and then we got into the late model deal. And we could sell the late model and get a couple of sprint car rollers. And I told Ronnie we thought about doing that. And Ronnie said, well, I'm telling you, if you sell your late model, I'll put your motors in the sprint car. So we bought the sprint cars without Ronnie, and then he's put so many motors in. It's been on from there.
Now, you go back to the scramble cars, you go back to the enduro cars, the beginning of your career. Did you have aspirations about getting in a sprint car, or how did that come about?
I did. My dad used to race over here whenever we were really young, so I've been coming over here for a long, long time, and that's what I always wanted to do, but I never ever imagined I'd be able to get to where I am. Never in a million years. Maybe to come over here and boot Fred Reamer like I mean, I had a t-shirt made and I had circle through 77 and every other driver on there, anybody but Raymer. But now, once you start racing and realizing what these guys do, the Raymers, the Deweeses, all those guys, Krites, you understand, you see their win totals, and it's like, those guys worked on their car that many Saturdays and went out there and won. And whenever we got into the 410 stuff, Fred and Brian Monte, those guys were some of the first ones to come over and kind of try to get me going the right way. So, and to sit here on a normal night and get to talk to Fred, it's like, I kind of belong here in a way, you know. It's like, these are kind of my peers now, instead of somebody that I'm watching in the grandstand just wishing I could do that. But it's just an awesome, just enjoying it while I can.
You mentioned the grandstand. Of course, the people in the grandstand, they have their favorites, they have their least favorites. They cheer, they boo, they do whatever they do, and that's part of it. That's part of the sport. But I think the neat thing with local dirt track racing is, if we have 30 cars come here tonight, we have one winner. If you go to a ball and stick sport, you've got one winning team, one losing team. Half the people rooting for one team or the other. Here, you have people rooting for every one of these race teams in the track.
Yeah, you do. And Ronnie had a t-shirt made there the other week. And to me, I'm just lucky to be here just doing it. We don't run up front on, but we sold a lot of t-shirts and a lot of sweatshirts and stuff. And it's like, it's just cool to see somebody that you don't know wearing your t-shirt. It's like, man, I'm not doing this for nothing. There's somebody out there cheering for me, so it's a good feeling.
It certainly is. Now that's the respect that you get from the fans, much like that respect you've earned for Fred Raymer or Lance Deweese or Brian Monte, the people that you were booing, but at the same time you come together and you come to learn how much is involved in this. It's not putting the wing on top of the car, putting the helmet on, and going racing. It's everybody says it's another full-time job.
Yeah, it definitely is. But it didn't take long when we started running. Hell, it was probably the scramble cars that I realized, and you didn't even work on those. But then whenever you come over here and you start seeing, you know, it just all clicked at once. Like, why am I booing this guy whenever he's out there doing what I want to do? Like,
right.
There will not be a car that I enjoy racing with every one of these guys out here. Any of them can win. I want to win, obviously, but any of them can win on any night, and I'm happy for it, because I know what it's like to have a team, and my guys work their butts off. For me, every other driver has that same team, and them guys have chemistry, so it's just good to see everybody succeed.
It is indeed. Now, whether your competitors beat you that night or you're able to beat some of those guys, you still have all that respect, and everybody works just as hard. You say your guys work hard, and they do. The guys in the car next to you, they work hard. On every one of these cars, like you say, it's a whole different, it's many teams within the sport.
Yes, and I sat in the grandstands a couple years ago, nothing against people that sat in the grandstands, but I've been doing this for a long time now, knowing all the drivers and stuff. So one night, I brought my son, and you know, we just tried to sit in the grandstands. And to hear the people that think they know everything about racing, know this guy and know that guy, and complain he did, like, no, like I can't do it no more, just because I have so much respect for these guys. And whenever somebody's trashing somebody that I admire or love racing with and treats me so good, I can't hang out in the grandstands anymore. I can't listen to it.
Another part I have to question you on is, when you're in the car, I talk to guys, different drivers, and they say, oh yeah, I was watching this, or paying attention to the track doing this, or that guy in front of me, I'm watching him. At the same time, you're feeling your car out. You're trying to make sure your car is running at the best spot on the racetrack for your setup that night. How do you keep that all into perspective?
The car is driving me most time. I'm just trying to hold on and get around the racetrack. Those guys search around and move around. I have to feel real good in a race car to search around, that's where I might not perform real good, but whenever the car feels good, I run good. Whenever I'm a little bit off, I'm a little on the cautious side, and that's not the way to be in this division. But whenever you respect Ronnie, he puts so much into it. I don't want to come out here and tear up stuff all the time. If I'm not, I got to use my head a little more than some of these other guys do. I'm getting older too, and I love doing it. I'm going to do it as long as I can, and I can't do it if I'm out here wrecking stuff up. So I just try to focus on myself and make sure my car is out of the way of the big guys, and just come and enjoy it. I don't want to upset none of them fast guys, so I just try to stay out of the way and mind my own business.
You mentioned the fact that you're up there in the stands and that people feel maybe they know a little bit more than what's actually going on. What's the difference from a fan's perspective in the grandstand watching a race and what you go through on the track? How close was that maybe on a slide job, or did you get into that guy, or did he get into you, or is it just racing? Or how could you explain that to a fan what they don't understand?
I don't know. Until you drive one of these cars and have an understanding, it doesn't even have to be a sprint car. Until you race a late model, street stock, something where you're competitive and racing around people to realize how close you are to these cars. I mean, accidents happen all the time. Sometimes they're bad slide jobs, sometimes they're not. But that's a good thing about this 410 class is you can get somebody tore up, you can get tore up yourself, but 99% of the time you know, put your head down, you go back to your race trailer, you work on your stuff, you get it loaded up. And the scramble cars at Trailways, where we started at, nothing against them, but they're racing for $100. They have a $300 car. You bump somebody and they want to come after you with a sledgehammer. So that's another reason I love where I am now.
I remember those days, those scramble car days.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's what I got started in, but those guys that's what they can do, and I respect every racer there is out there. They all work on their stuff, that's what they can do, but some of them need to take a little chill pill because they, you know, yeah, that's everything they work for, but we don't need to beat people with sledgehammers and torque wrenches just because we got bumped into it.
Now this is a little bit too much work and too much money involved not to have fun. I don't think swinging a hammer around at somebody, it doesn't sound like fun to me, especially if you're the guy that's being swung at.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, Scotty, again, we want to thank you for your time. We're going to let you get to work. Sorry about the 358 deal tonight. You're going to let that one sit for a week or two. Get some parts back underneath the hood in that motor. But have fun, be competitive tonight. And again, we just appreciate what your team does here each and every Saturday night in Lincoln. And we wish you the best.
Yep, thanks a lot for taking the time to talk to some of us smaller guys that don't get the chances often because, like I said, we work as hard as any of them do, but we might not be as fast as them, but we still work hard at it.
Well, you're exactly right. Well, that's Scott Fisher. He works hard. His crew works hard just like everybody does down in this pit area. He'll be working hard to get a good finish here tonight in the 410 ranks.